Alright guys, so today we're going to be turning my 24 valve Cummins into a 25 valve, possibly a 25.5 valve Cummins, by simply doing two things. And that's putting a new alternator on it for more airflow, and alternator components. And then this box of springs I found on the side of the road. So I can assure you that by doing these, whatever many steps I just listed off, you can either turn your 24 valve Cummins into a 25 valve Cummins or a 25.5 valve Cummins. And you know what they say about giving your engine more airflow. You'll be cooler and everyone will think you're cooler, and that's what we're here for, to be cooler than we were before. Because without being cool, you know, you're lame. And why would I want to be lame driving around my truck? I don't know. That's why we're making it cooler, not lamer. So stick around and yeah, we'll find out how to make this truck cooler. In all seriousness, we're putting a bigger turbocharger, and we're putting stiffer valve springs in here, so you know, the engine can handle more boost without bending a push rod, or I mean not bending a push rod, floating the valves, and preventing valve to piston contact. So yeah, it's gonna have more boost. It's already tuned to rev to 4,000 plus RPM, so it should have been done a while ago. I had the head off recently and did a head gasket and head studs, and yeah, there was a valve to piston contact, so we're kind of doing this too late right now, but still you know, don't want to have the valves float again, and I don't even know if this valve's bent or not. I don't think so, hopefully not. If it is, you know, we'll blow it up. If not, we'll maybe not blow it up. But anyways, I'm gonna run this setup, see how much horsepower I can get out of it until it blows up. Found my T4 gasket. I'll go ahead and install it, mock up my turbo. I'm gonna mock it up because I don't know if I need a spacer between the manifold and the turbine housing, so the compressor housing doesn't hit the manifold, or if I could just run it the way it is. So I haven't even gotten the clamp for the you know, center section and stuff on yet, and I'm already getting clearance issues. So you can see right here, this clamp isn't allowed to seat, or isn't allowing to seat all the way on the V band because of this stud. Now I could trim this stud, I could find a bolt to throw in there. Probably gonna trim it, so I'll do that. All right, got the new turbo routed up. Got the drain on, so it's pretty much fully installed. I had absolutely no clearance issues. I might have to readjust it when I go to put the elbow on for the intercooler, and then gonna need a new downpipe or a new flange for the downpipe. We'll see about that though. Now I'm gonna get ready to do the valve springs, so that should be interesting. Well guys, bad news. So these injectors I bought used a while ago, and if you don't know about these 04 Dodges, they come with a split ear, so an 04 and an 04 and a half, and the 04 has a 143 degree spray angle on the injector, and the 04 and a half to 07 have a 124 degree spray angle for the injector. And I bought these off a kid who didn't really seem that he knew what he had, but kind of took his word on it, and he said he had an older truck, an 04, early 04. I'm like, okay, whatever, maybe he does know. But I pulled this injector apart, and probably can't see, but it says 124 somewhere on there. And that is the indication of the spray angle of this injector nozzle. So, all right, day 2 of getting this little project going. So yesterday I put this massive S467 on here, and ran the truck for a little bit, that kind of stuff. Started doing valve springs. I got 1, 6, 2, yeah, and 2 done. So now I need to do 5, 5, 3, yeah, 5 and 3, and it should be good for valve springs. We went over the whole injector issue debacle, which making communications with a truck parts retailer on getting the right parts to complete the setup, to get the right stuff. So now I'm going to continue with the valve springs. It's relatively easy. It is very messy, very oily when you go to do this, because you got a ton of oil. But yeah, As you can see, they're all seated. And all good. So now I'll walk you guys through this real quick on one cylinder. Yeah, we'll do number 5, because it's at top dead center for 5 and 2. The way you check that is you can get a screwdriver. I got a piece of welding rod. Don't use stick rod, use TIG rod. So you put it in the injector hole, and you rotate the engine as it rises. When it gets to its highest point, that's at top dead center. So then you can go ahead and remove this rod, and then go ahead and install your valve spring removal tool. I got this off Amazon. I don't recommend getting one off Amazon because it does not line up perfectly with the valve retainers. And that kind of gives you a little bit harder of an installation, because it doesn't center on the valve spring as much. So, but I was able to make do with it. So you put your little hold down on, you put your tool on, you thread the nut on there, and then you get this one is a 19mm bolt or a nut. Thread that on. I like to use my Milwaukee on this, my Milwaukee ratchet, but you can use any sort of 19mm, whether it be a ratcheting wrench, ratcheting wrench, or anything of that nature. So you get that on there somewhat, and make sure it's even on all the valve springs and the valves, whatever. And then you just crank it. I crank it down all the way. Oh. And then they just pop out, as you can see. Then you get a pick. I like to get like a little bit of an offset pick, and then you go around and kind of just pick them off so they come out of the groove. There you go. You just fall to the side like that. Get a little bit better of an angle right here. Yeah, they kind of just fall to the side. And then after they fall out of the groove, You get a magnet. The back's kind of a little bit trickier. You can't. You get a really good hold on it. Well, at least with my magnet. If you get like a smaller magnet, it's a little bit easier. Yeah, sometimes you can just lift your valve up with the pick, like that, and it has to be in top dead center, because if it's not at top dead center, your valve will just fall into the cylinder, and you'll have to pull off your head, and it's not a good time. Yeah, pick these off to the side. Be careful not to drop them. That's how they look like. Set them off somewhere where you won't lose them. You do that for all four, and then yeah, I'll show you what to do after that. On these back two cylinders, if you're using something this long, be careful, because it will get wedged between the top of the firewall and the tool. So yeah, be mindful of that, because that's yeah, kind of a pickle you can get yourself into. So take these off, retainers, keepers, whatever they're called. Set these aside as well. And you grab these, throw them in the dumpster. You grab yourself your new valve springs you found on the side of the road in a cardboard box. Pop them on there. Put your retaining mechanisms on there. Get your tool back on. Thread it on quite a bit before. Make sure they're even too. Make sure the holes are pretty even. So that will cause issues if they're not. Wrong way. And you crank it back down. And you want it to go down as even as possible. If it doesn't go down, if it starts twisting, which I don't know about other tools, but this tool likes to twist a lot, you gotta kind of undo it. Reset it. find a good place for this camera. Yeah, reset it. You kind of need all the hands you can get for this. Hold it in place while you're cranking it down, but watch your fingers so they don't get smushed. Have it cranked all the way down. Now you grab all your keepers. Put them in there. Get your pick. Push them up into the valve stem, into the groove on the valve stem. Yeah, and then also keep a pretty even gap between the two retainers, or the two keepers. I don't know if it actually matters, but for aesthetic purposes, I guess it looks better, but that's up to interpretation. There you go. That's how you do a set of valve springs on one cylinder, a 24 valve. It's not too hard, kind of tedious, but if you got the patience, it's pretty easy. Cylinder 5's done, so I got 1, 6, 3, and 5 done, so all I got left is 1, 6, 2, and 5 done. All I got is 3 and 4 left to do. And going ahead and take this tool off. Alright, so now I'm done with all the valve springs for all 6 cylinders. It's a relatively easy process. as long as you don't drop anything, and as long as you are really patient, really calm, it should go fine. And a really, really must-have upgrade on your truck, because you know you're gonna get valve to piston contact if you're pushing RPM or boost, or yeah, you're just gonna float the valves, and that's a valve to piston contact is just a result of floating the valves. So yeah, it's definitely recommended if you're doing higher than stock boost numbers and higher than stock RPM. And I'd say, you know, instead of taking it to a shop to get it done, you could easily do it yourself if all you got is a magnet, a small pick, 10 millimeter, 8 millimeter sockets to get the injectors out. Also like a 19 millimeter wrench and a 24 millimeter socket or wrench to get the injector crossover tubes out and that kind of stuff. And then obviously the valve spring compressor tool, which if you're cheap, you get on Amazon and face consequences like I did of it not having ideal fitment. But you can also work around that, as I just showed right now. So pick your poison, and you can get it done, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got pretty much. There's nothing else for me to do. I'm gonna have to sadly wait to get injectors or injector nozzles, because I have the wrong ones. We'll find that out. Thanks for watching, and yeah, have a good day.